manhunt is still on for the gunman who killed a Baltimore police detective as loved ones said their final farewells. On Wednesday, Sean Suter was laid to rest after a funeral at the Mount Pleasant Church in Baltimore. Fellow officers and family members packed the church to honor the 43-year-old father of 5. Authorities say someone shot and killed Suter as he worked on a 2016 homicide investigation in West Baltimore. They say the killer shot Suter in the head with his own gun. A $250,000 reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest. Authorities say they plan to update the public on Suter's case later this week. Very sad case, very sad case. I want to go to our panel with Julianne, Derek, and Kim. What do you make? I think you spoke of earlier of this Baltimore incident. Kim, lots of issues out here from the community and whether this was a hit, if you will, on this police officer who was set to testify against some rogue police officers in federal court, or at least in a federal grand jury, I think. What's your take on it?
It's hard not to believe that that was the case. You see so many things that have happened, even from the moment he got shot. And this is another thing, and I don't know, you might know a little bit more about this than I do. Would it actually, I guess, jeopardize the case if they were to release the 911 call the partner made? Because you have to remember, the partner did not call on his radio. He called 911 to then say that his partner, Sean Suter, had been shot. He then took him...
And he was there when he was shot.
Right.
I don't know whether he saw it or not because they were on the gunfire.
Well, they said he was taking cover across the street. You're taking cover across the street.
So why do you use your radio?
Clearly, you're not a first responder kind of guy. You know, if gunshots are going down and you're running away. But yeah, he didn't use his radio. He called 911. They then get him in a patrol car. That patrol car was then in a car accident on the way to the hospital. They then had to transfer him to an ambulance to get him then to the hospital. I mean, just so many things are piling up here. It's like if they release a 911 call, maybe I would feel a little bit more comfortable in knowing what took place at that very moment. Now, they don't even have a description of the guy. The police came on, I believe it was C4's show on WBAL just a couple of days ago, and they said, well, we don't want to give out too much information because then people would know. What cases?
This is a public servant that's been killed with his own gun
have you ever
in the head,
where they don't give a description of the suspect besides having a black jacket on and with a white stripe?
And how is it that you don't have a description because you had a partner there? Julianne?
Exactly.
There is such a thing as police protocol, which his partner apparently violated. That's why you have a radio. You're not supposed to be using your cell phone or, you know, TPs and drums. I mean, this is just absurd. I agree with you that
this panel agrees way too much. Go right ahead.
Well, no, but
there's a lot of inconsistencies with this whole case.
It is, and the optics are bad.
And to see there's a 43-year-old man with 5 children. That's the heartbreaking part of it. And you know, we don't know who the assailant is, but we know that the police is being extremely shaky and very shady, and you have to wonder if they will be behaving the same way if the person who was killed, frankly, was white. You know, I just have to put that in there.
By the way, you have a state's attorney who's up for re-election next year, who former police officers are running against her. And the reason I raise that is because if you're going to get some independent review of this circumstance, of this shooting, you're going to need either the state's attorney or the feds or someone, because that thin blue line is still there. Now, right now, the chief of police is denying that there's any connection so far. But I got to tell you, just to give the public and the family comfort, perhaps they need to have either the state's attorney or the feds come in and do their investigation. Derek, what do you think?
They're going to have to, again, because of all the inconsistencies, but it goes towards what we were just talking earlier. You know, there are some bad cops among the ranks, and it just makes the whole law enforcement community look so bad.
Look for the family to file a civil lawsuit, because a civil lawsuit, civil justice, if you will, you get discovery, and depending on what the lawsuit is about, vis-a-vis negligence or failing to protect or failure to train and what have you, I think the real story is going to come out. You know, the truth rises. It may be delayed, but it does rise. So, Julianne?
You know, eventually, Scott, but I think that partner needs to be fully investigated, and the Baltimore police chief just needs to keep his mouth shut, because and the description needs to be released.
And the partner was at the funeral. I think his partner spoke at the funeral.
Well, you have to also keep in mind, the partner that he had that day was not his usual partner. He was assigned a different partner partner for that day.
This is reading like a movie. You ought to write a script on
yes.
this.
I got this thing down packed. So, and then also you have to understand the feds should have came in immediately. For them to shut down Harlem Park area, this is where they shut down, they roped it off for 72 hours. They're the ones investigating themselves, basically, in a way. And then, so then you have them, they could be, you know, planting evidence or removing evidence. You don't even know,
72
right?
hours, yeah.
72 hours, you're holding people hostage, basically, in this neighborhood. And so, yeah, I just don't understand why the feds aren't there, why this is even up for discussion.
Here's another deal,
they
though.
should be there.
How many times have you seen police officers get assassinated, if you will, and there's just this major delay in catching the person or identifying the person in a West Baltimore neighborhood in this case? That just doesn't happen. It just doesn't. Last word.
Right.
Clearly, somebody knows who did this. Someone is covering it up. And as you said, the feds need to be in. I want to hear the 911 call. I think we all do.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to disclose more. This isn't going away, but the community has to keep pressure, and the family's going to have to keep pressure on them, too.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.